Dreams are one of the easiest ways that God communicates with you. So never disregard your dream. Anytime you wake up, always make sure to write it down so that you're able to take it back to God for interpretation of the dream. I can have a dream of eating food and it could mean abundance or gluttony. And you can have a dream of eating food in your dream and it could mean spiritual warfare, spiritual attack. So dream is very personal to the person because that's God communicating to you on your own based on a particular thing. So you can't use the general interpretation of dreams to interpret your dream. That is you making a mistake. And dreams I have, you made a mistake in the interpretation or that you forget doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It's still going to happen. I'm going to be speaking based on the dreams that I've had and the interpretations that the Holy Spirit gave me concerning them. So I once had this dream where in the dream I was on the first floor and I just knew that there was going to be an attack very soon on that first floor. And for me to avoid it, I needed to get to the last floor of the building. That was the knowledge I had in the dream. So immediately I started climbing up the stairs. The attack broke out on the first floor that I was just in. The army were everywhere. They were shooting. They were attacking people. And I just kept on climbing the stairs. And upon getting to the last floor, I entered the room and everywhere was just like so beautiful. So when I woke up, I asked the Holy Spirit about the interpretation of the dream. And he was like, I'm calling you higher and I need you to get up higher. So for another person, they could have interpreted that dream as, the war is coming, the world is coming to an end. But then if you take it back to God, you realize that most interpretation of the dreams are very personal to you. I had this dream where I had this big basin of food like in front of me. It was so large, like I couldn't even begin to just explain the largeness of this plates or basin of food. Like it was just as if the food was about to start overflowing out of the basin, and then I kept on eating and eating and eating in the dream. So when I woke up, the only thing I could feel, I could hear in my spirit was abundance, abundance, abundance. And I spoke to God about it. It was like just pray into the abundance. So another person that could have dreamt about eating food in their dream, it would mean a spiritual attack. It could mean gluttony. It could mean that warfare. They are feeding you something in your dream and you have to go into prayer immediately. And for me, my own meant abundance. So it really depends on you and the type of dreams that you have, which is why it is very important for you to always take your dreams back to the Holy Spirit for the interpretation, because it is very personal to you. You can't interpret dreams based on the general interpretation or insinuation of dreams, because you're going to be making a very big mistake. Maybe it's a blessing and you're not even accepting the blessing into your life. It's just hanging over you. And maybe it's a spiritual warfare. You're meant to enter into fasting and you're not doing that. So you really have to just, go take the dream back to the Holy Spirit and let him just interpret it for you. You could also have impartation dreams. Like I've had dreams where, like I was in a hostel, kind of like a hostel with my friends in school, and then we were coming back from church one day, and then we just saw these evil people. They started chasing us, and everyone ran away. So I was hiding under this building, and then the zinc was like a bit outside of it, and I was like hiding under that zinc, and then there was this bird that just comes and then just was like on the zinc, and I could, like, if I look up I could see the bird, and then there was this water that was dropping out of the body of the bird, and when it touches me it just burns, like it burns. I'm like in the dream, I'm like shouting, oh my god, that burns. And then I look at my hand and there is no scar, because I looked at my hand, I was expecting to see a scar, but there was no scar at all, nothing. It was just like very smooth. Now that is an impartation dream. So if you do not know, if you do not take your dreams back to the Holy Spirit, it's very hard for you to really get the interpretation of the dreams. Like, so it was upon waking up, I knew that the bed there was like an eagle. So You have to always take your dreams back to God for you to know the interpretation of your dreams. Never make the mistake of just assuming the interpretation of your dream, because if you assume, you are going to miss the whole message that God is trying to give to you. Because when you are awake, like, you are very busy, and the one time that God can actually meet you, speak to you, communicate with you is when you are sleeping. And if you make the mistake of misinterpreting your dream, then that is really going to just make you miss the mark of the whole message that God really wants to give you. So I hope that this really blessed you, and the point of this video is for you to always take your dreams back to the Holy Spirit for the interpretation of your dreams, because He's the one that gave you the dream. So you have to know the meaning of the dream. You have to understand the weight of the dream. You have to know, okay, this is a new season. I need to pray into it. This is something that I need to accept into my life. This is something that I need to fast against, so that you know what you are moving with and what you are moving against. I hope this video blessed you. See you in my next video. Bye.